Good morning. This is Beat After Beat Bio Mondays. Thank you all for showing up. 26 degrees and cloudy in Motor City. Much love to the fullest. Bio Mondays, everybody. Thank you. Thank you all for showing up today. Much love to the fullest. Drum roll, please. Crisp, just like the air outside. In case you didn't know, this is Beat After Beat. I am a music channel here in Motor City. Welcome, welcome, all my new subs out there. Appreciate it to the fullest. Oh, you know what that means, everybody? That means Beat After Beat is in the house. Riots every time this channel goes live. That's right. Every time I go on stage, riots. Every time. Thank you all for showing up. Bio Mondays, the biographies and the discographies of bands around the world, including solo artists. Today's spotlight is opening act today, DEVO. That's right. I believe I have a official video of DEVO in the chat right now. Whip it. Whip it good. That is DEVO. They are the opening act today, as well as Depeche Mode. I have a music video in the chat, Behind the Wheel, for everyone to check out. Depeche Mode and DEVO today. Much love to the fullest. On the chat real quick. Carpenter is in the house. All right. Much love to you, Carpenter. Yeah. The things I grew up on, eh, Carpenter? The things I grew up on. I got you DEVO, Whip It, official music video in the chat, as well as Depeche Mode, Behind the Wheel, official music video in the chat. Thank you for spending some time with Beat After Beat. Carpenter, I owe you a special request. I believe you're still holding me to that Fleetwood Mac. I will be doing a special request for Carpenter. She wanted to know the biography and discography of Fleetwood Mac. I will also be doing that for the show. Major winter storm is headed our way here in Michigan. Major storm, winter storm. Arctic blast is coming down as we speak. Um, uh, breaking news as of yesterday, a major winter storm. We're supposed to get over a foot of snow. Thank God I insulated my windows. I've been busy all weekend insulating all three of my windows. I'm glad I did because I just found out we're having a major winter storm by Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And after the show, I have to go to the grocery store and get some emergency supplies due to this storm. So I have to prepare. Again, thank God I did the windows, insulated these windows really good. Yeah, I'm about to. I'm actually going to be doing my normal new release Tuesdays, and then I'm taking Wednesday off. I usually do my red light district on Wednesday, but I'm going to be doing that for everybody on Thursday. I'm going to be picking up my friend's cat and the cat's food and bed and litter and everything, and I will be watching my friend's cat for the entire month while my friend is going to Florida for the holiday season. So I will be house watching my friend's cat on top of doing the regular shows. So I will be doing that. So let's get down to the nitty gritty today. Again, welcome everybody. 9 minutes into the show, 26 degrees and cloudy here in the Motor City. Like I said, a major winter storm is about to hit Michigan. According to the weather map, it seems it's going to be a direct hit. So again, I'm preparing for this winter storm headed my way. We are going to hunker down. Me and the two cats, my cat, my friend's cat, everything's well stocked except a few things in the apartment. Windows are insulated, heat is adjusted, and it looks like I am all set. DEVO with the good. DEVO active 1970s to 2020s. Formed in 1972 in Ohio. Alternative indie rock, American underground, new wave, punk, post-punk, synth pop, American punk, punk new wave, college rock, dance rock. Too many members of the group to mention. Bob Lewis, Josh Freese, Josh Hager, Jeff Fried, Alan Myers, Bob Cassell, Gerald Cassell, Bob Motherslaugh. Yeah, that's a last name, Motherslaugh. Mark Motherslaugh, both brothers. Jim Motherslaugh. One of New Wave's most Innovative bands DEVO bubbled up from the Midwestern underground of the 1970s with a marvelously obtuse self-designed vision that they were able to successfully convey to a large audience, taking their name from their own philosophy of devolution. Devolution. The Akron, Ohio-based group merged dark solo satire and offbeat humor with highly stylized visuals, briefly breaking through the mainstream with 1980's Freedom of Choice and its smash hit Whip It, whose accompanying video was made a staple of the fledgling MTV network. Their jerky robotic rhythms, bizarre uniforms, and focus on technology were like nothing else on the pop landscape. Though some of their elements caused some critics to unfairly dismiss them as a novelty group. Although their success worn throughout the rest of the 80s, DEVO's legacy over the coming decades grew into that of a highly influential cult band with legions of followers. Through various reunions and reformations, they continued to develop creatively into the 21st century, composing music for soundtrack and commercials, publishing a video game, and ever collaborating with Disney to create a child-led version of the band called DEVO 2.0. 2010 Something for Everybody marked their return to new music, and they continued touring into the next decade. Musicians Gerald Cassell and Mark Motherslav were both art school students at Kent State University at the outset of the 1970s, with their friend Bob Lewis, who joined an early version of DEVO and later became their manager. They developed their own philosophy of devolution, the idea that instead of evolving, humankind has actually regressed, as evidenced by the dysfunction and herd mentally of American society. Their devolution theory was deepened with the aid of a book entitled "The Beginning Was the End. Knowledge Can Be Eaten," which held that humankind had evolved from mutant brain-eating apes. The trio adapted the theory to fit their view of American society as a rigid instrument of repression, ensuring that its members behaved like clones, marching through life with mechanical assembly line precision and no tolerance. The whole concept was treated as an elaborate joke until the band members witnessed the infamous National Guard killings of students protesters at the university. Suddenly, there seemed to be a legitimate point to be made. The first incarnation of DEVO was formed as early as 1972 with Cassell on bass, Mark Motherslav on vocals, and Mark's brothers Bob, lead guitar, and Jim, who played homemade electronic drums. Jerry's brother, Bob Cassell, joined as an additional guitarist, and Jim left the band to be replaced by Alan Myers. The group honored their sound and approach for several years. A period later, on hardware compilations of home recordings, releasing a few singles on their own. Boo Boy, BOO Boy label, and inventing more bizarre concepts. Mother's laughs, dressed in a baby face mask as Boo Boy, pronounced Boogie Boy. It's pronounced Boogie Boy. A symbol of infertile regression. There were reoccurring images of the photo as a lowly vegetable without individually. The band's costumes presented them as identical clones with processed hair, and all sorts of sonic experiments were performed on records using real and homemade synthesizers as well as toys, space heaters, toasters, and other objects. DEVO's first big break came from their score for the short film The Truth About Devolution, which won a prize at the 1976 Ann Arbor Film Festival here in Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan. David Bowie and Iggy Pop saw the film and were impressed enough to help the group secure a contract with Warner Brothers. Recorded under the pioneering producer Brian Eno, Are We Not Men? We Are DEVO was seen as a call to arms by some and became an underground hit. Others found DEVO's music imaginary and material threatening. Rolling Stone, for example, called the group's fascist, but such criticism missed the point. DEVO dramatized conformity, emotional repression, and dehumanization in order to attack them, not to pay tribute to them. While 1979, Duty Now for the Future was another strong effort, the band broke through to the mainstream with 1980's Freedom of Choice, which yielded the gold-selling single Whip It, and represented a peak in their sometimes erratic songwriting. The video for Whip It became an MTV smash, juxtaposing the band's low-budget, futuristic look against a down-home farm setting and hints of S&M with this album. DEVO introduced one of their most iconic visual elements in the Energy Dome, a red plastic terraced hat worn by the band members that over the years became synonymous with their brand. Already chafing from their newly acquired global success, DEVO quickly changed tracks with 1981's New Traditionalist, an overall darker and more serious album, whose lead single, Through Being Cool, was a direct response to their popularity. That same year, they contributed a typically mechanical cover of the old Lee Dorsey hit, Working in the Coal Mine, to the film Heavy Metal, and backed up singer Toni Basil on her debut album, Words of Mouth. They were also plagued by several controversies. Bob Lewis successfully sued for theft of intellectual property after a tape of Mother's Laughs was found, acknowledging Lewis' role in creating the devolution philosophy, and the sessions for 1982's "Oh No, It's Devo" were married by an considered attempt use poetry written by would-be Ronald Reagan assassination, John Hinckley Jr. as lyrical material. As the 1980s wore on, Devo found themselves increasingly regulated to cult status and critical indifference. In 1984, the album "Shout" failed to make much of an impact, and Warner Brothers subsequently dropped them from their roster. With the band's shift toward electronic drums, Alan Myers departed in 1986 to be replaced by X-Sparks and Gleaming Spires drummer David Kendrick. Following 1987's reissue of Easy Listening Disc, a collection of music-style versions previously available at their fan club, Devo released their seventh album, 1988's Total Devo, with the Enigma label, Enigma Records. 2 years later, Smooth Noodle Maps, booking Devo's initial run as a group. Between the album's poor sales and the bankruptcy of their label, Enigma, the band didn't even make it through their entire tour before splitting up. By the early 1990s, most of Devo's members had begun to concentrate on their own projects, with Mark Mother's Laughs composing for commercials and soundtracks, writing theme music for MTV's Liquid Television, Nickelodeon's Rugrats, Pee-wee's Playhouse, and the Jonathan Winters sitcom Davis Rules. He also played keyboards with the Rolling Stones, programmed synthesizers for Sheena Easton, sang backup with Debbie Harry, and beginning with 1996's Bottle Rocket, forged a successful bond composing soundtracks for director Wes Anderson. Buoyed by this success, Mother's Laughs opened a profitable production company called Mutato Musica, which employed his fellow Devo bandmates Jerry Cassell. Meanwhile, was directed most by the band's directed video clip for popular acts like Rush, Foo Fighters, and Soundgarden. Excuse me. Teresa is in the house, going over the biography, very long biography of Devo. "26 minutes in the show. Thank y'all for showing up. Trying to get through the first segment of Bio Mondays. We got Devo in the house. Going back, no reunions were expected, but as Devo's legends grew and other bands acknowledged their influences, Nirvana covered "Turn Around," while "Girl You Want" has been recorded by Soundgarden, Superchunk, and even Robert Palmer. Their electronic pop was finally given new exposure at 6 dates of the 1996 Lollapalooza tour to enthusiastic fan response. The following year, DEVO released a CD-ROM game, The Adventures of the Smart Patrol, an accompanying music soundtrack in addition to playing more selected dates on the Lollapalooza tour. A pair of double-disc DEVO anthologies were released in 2000. The first was the Half Hits and the Half Rarities, Pioneers Who Got Scalped, the anthology, Pioneers Who Got Scalped, the anthology, for Rhino Records, while the second was the limited edition mail order release Recombo DNA for Rhino's handmade label, the latter of which consisted solely of previously unreleased demos. In 2001, the Mother's Laugh and Cassell brothers reunited under the same The Wipeouters for a One of Surf release. Cassell would introduce his Jihad Jerry and the Evil Loaders solo project with the 2006 album Mine Is Not a Holy War. That same year, the band worked with Disney for DEVO 2.0, a band project album that involved a set of preteens re-recording classic deep tracks, although some lyrics were adjusted to be more family friendly. DEVO got back to releasing their own material in 2007 with the single Watch You Work It. A promised new wave new album failed to materialize in 2008. They returned to Akron, Ohio for a rare show in support of Barack Obama's presidential campaign, with all proceeds going toward the Summit County Democrat Party. After Deluxe 2009's reissues of Are We Not Men, We Are DEVO, and Freedom of Choice sent the band back on the road to play said albums live in their entirety. Work resumed on a new record, an internet campaign where fans got to choose the full-length 12-track inspired 2010's Something for Everybody, DEVO's first new album in 20 years, just prior to the 2013 release of the 2000s era rarities compilation Something Else for Everybody. The band's original drummer Alan Myers died of stomach cancer less than a year later. Founding member Bob Cassell died of heart failure. DEVO completed their Hardcore DEVO tour of 2014 with new member Josh Hager assuming Cassell duties. A live album and DVD from this tour One moment, I just lost connection. Take care, George. Much love. Thank you all for showing up. Quite a long bio by DEVO. 32 minutes into the show. And I just lost connection. going over my notes, going over DEVO. So, where was I? So, something for everybody, DEVO's first new album in 20 years, just prior to the 2013 release of the 2000s era rarities compilation, Something Else for Everybody. The band's original drummer, Alan Myers, died of stomach cancer. Less than 1 year later, founding member Bob Cassell died of Alan Myers died of stomach cancer. Less than a year later, founding member Bob Cassell died of heart failure. DEVO completed their Hardcore DEVO tour of 2014 with new members Josh Hager assuming Cassell's duty. A live album and DVD from this tour called Hardcore DEVO Live was released in 2015. As the start of the next decade, DEVO remained in legacy mode, starting in the 2021 television documentary Devolution, a DEVO theory, playing occasional gigs with relaunching the annual Cleveland, Ohio-based fan convention Devolution. There you go. There is the biography of DEVO. 34 minutes in the show. Coming up, we have the discography. Wow, that was rough. Hope you all could kind of comprehend what I was reading. Let's take a little break here for a minute. Go in the chat. George is in the house. Much love. Struck by lightning, Teresa. Hello, on my way to my appointment, but I have a few minutes. Thank you for showing up. George. SBL. Bouncers in the house. Time to pick up the brats and head to Mars. There you go. Thank you for showing up. Just went over the entire biography of DEVO. You can check out DEVO Whip It official music video in my chat. Such a very silly song. Whip It. An MTV classic. Moving right along on this Monday, 26 degrees and cloudy, and a winter storm is headed towards Michigan. We will be getting that by Thursday, Friday, I believe. Friday, Saturday. Major winter storm headed to Michigan. Dead on. Six people in the house. Going over the discography now of DEVO. 1978, Are We Not Men? We Are DEVO. Warner Brothers, 4.5 stars. 1979's Duty Now for the Future on Warner Brothers Records, 3.5 stars. 1980's Freedom of Choice, Warner Brothers, 4.5 stars. 1981's New Traditionalist, Warner Brothers, 3 stars. 1982's Oh No, It's DEVO on Collectibles Records, 2.5 stars. 1984's Shout on Collectibles Records, 1.5 stars. 1988's Total DEVO on Restless Records, 1.5 stars. 1989's Now It Can Be Told, DEVO at the Palace, 12/9/88, live album by DEVO. Now It Can Be Told. 1989. 1990's Smooth Noodle Maps, Restless Records, 2 stars. 1996's Adventures of the Smart Patrol on Discovery Records, 2 stars. And the last known release by DEVO, 2010, Something for Everybody on Warner Brothers Records, 4 stars. That completes the biography, discography of DEVO. Wow. Headliner today is Depeche Mode. You can find an official music video of Depeche Mode in my chat, Behind the Wheel. Depeche Mode. Hope everyone is having a nice Monday so far. After the show, I have to go and get some emergency food. Apparently, the Arctic air is about to hit a lot of people here in the United States. The Siberian train is moving in, and the Arctic blast is about to hit us all. And Michigan is going to be getting about a foot of snow by this weekend. Beat After Beat has to stock up after the show for emergency, get everything settled in, so I don't have to deal with that mess that's about to happen. Poor Dirt Farmer is in the house. Much love to you. Poor Dirt Farmer Live. Thank you for showing up. As you all know, I have difficulty in reading my own notes. I do the best I can to pronounce these band members. And well, I do the best I can in reading the biographies, discographies. Getting down to 10 degrees here. Yes, it's 26 degrees and cloudy right now here in Michigan, southeast Michigan. Thank you, poor Dirt Farmer. 29 in Central Florida on Christmas. Yeah, I believe that's northern Florida you're talking about. My friend is going to be leaving here in Michigan Wednesday, and she will be headed towards Florida for the entire month. I'm going to be watching her cat. I have to pick up her cat this Wednesday, and get all the cat's bed and food and everything. So I will be babysitting my friend's cat while she enjoys her holiday festivities in Florida. Um, so speaking of Florida, Teresa P. I'm in, yes, northern Florida. Yes, it will be in the teens. Yes. So what is my friend about to experience? She's supposed to go to be Florida to be warm, uh, and boy, she's gonna get a wake up call when she gets down to Florida. Um, it'll be almost as cold as it is going to be up here in Michigan. So it looks like Beat After Beat will be babysitting my friend's cat along with my cat. So I'm going to have two cats in the apartment. In the meantime, I'm glad I heard that this major winter storm was about to come my way. And thank God I insulated all three of my windows this past weekend. They're nice and tight, airtight. All three windows are done. Well stocked with food, except a few things. I will be here tomorrow for new release Tuesday. And then Wednesday I'm taking off to go pick up my friend's cat and bring her back home. And then Thursday I'll be back for Red Light District, Vintage Beat, exposing rare footage of Beat After Beat back 3 to 5 years. Exactly, Carpenter. Exactly. Yeah, she's not going to be happy. She'll be in Florida for a month. We are freezing this year. Yeah, it's supposed to be the worst cold we've had in decades. There's ice in this parking lot. Yeah, so y'all be prepared. We're this Siberian train. Actually, it's coming from Siberia down through Canada, and it's going to be hitting a big chunk of the United States by Thursday, and then we have a major snowstorm, blizzard conditions headed our way. So I've been getting making a list of emergency stuff I'm going to need to hunker down through this winter storm. Thank God I got my windows insulated, and make sure the cats are nice and comfortable and nice and warm. And while my friend is in Florida freezing her ass off, I hope not. I really hope not. That's why she's going to Florida, to get warm. I gotta go to okay, much love to you. If you're still here, I'll be back. Thank you so much, Teresa. Be right back. It's a quick appointment. Take your time. Take your time. Headliner today. Right on, Carpenter. Right on. Who goes to Florida in the wintertime anymore? Because Florida is becoming winter. So who goes to Florida anymore? Freeze warnings. Oranges are freezing. Darren Gray, much love to you. It's -4 right now with wind chill, -18 with wind chill. My uncle lives in Arizona. Yeah, and it's about to hit Texas. Um, his car window had frost on it. It's going to get worse. Again, the Siberian train is coming from Siberia, headed down through Canada. Looking at last night, I was looking at the projection models for this Arctic blast that we're about to get hit with, and the blizzard conditions and the amount of snow. Here in Michigan, we're about to get hit with a foot of snow. So let me continue on with this program. 48 minutes into the show, 7 people in the house. Welcome, welcome. It is Monday, and as you know, Mondaze, the biographies, discographies of bands around the world, as well as solo artists, covering I'm in a wheelchair. It don't feel good in snow. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Flying straight in the house. Much love. We're going to take a break from the weather we're about to get hit with. Again, my friend is going to Florida for the holidays this Wednesday, and I will be watching her cat for the entire month while she's in Florida, freezing her ass off. Apparently. Opening act today, DEVO, Whip It. Official music video in the chat, covering the biography, the discography of DEVO. Headliner, Depeche Mode, Behind the Wheel, official music video in the chat. Going to be going over the biography, discography of Depeche Mode. I once heard an early interview, probably 83, 84, of Depeche Mode. And the person interviewing Depeche Mode at that time, he asked them, "Where did you get the name Depeche Mode? Why do you call yourself Depeche Mode?" And Depeche Mode said, "Because we can." So there's the answer for an interview that happened in 83, 84. Interviewer asked Depeche Mode, "What does Depeche Mode mean? Where did you get that name from? Why do you call yourself Depeche Mode?" And Depeche Mode says, with a simple answer, "Because we can." So there you go, a little history about that, where Depeche Mode got their name from, or why they are calling themselves. Seven in the house, 51 minutes into the show. Going to be finishing off the show today with Depeche Mode, and by special request from Carpenter. She wanted me to do a biography, discography of Fleetwood Mac. So that will end the show. Special request by Carpenter, biography, discography of Fleetwood Mac, coming up right after Depeche Mode. Depeche Mode, active 1980s to 2020s. Formed in 1980 in Essex, England, under the pop rock, alternative dance, alternative indie rock, synth pop, alternative pop rock, post-punk, dance rock, new wave. Group members David Gahn, Martin Gore, Andy Fletcher. Andy Fletcher, as you all know, the keyboardist for Depeche Mode, recently passed away. Andy Fletcher, Alan Wilder, and Vince Clarke. Vince Clarke went off to do Yaz or Yaz. Vince Clarke, he left early in the Depeche Mode's career to do Yazoo. Thank you, Darren, for showing up. Much love. Everybody show each other love. Thank you, Gerald. Same here, Darren. So here we go, the biography, the bio, the DNA, the chromosomes of Depeche Mode. Pioneering English band Depeche Mode took the underground electronic club sounds of the early 80s and expanded them to stadium-sized levels within a decade, becoming one of the best-selling international groups in the process. One of the first acts to establish a musical identity based completely around the use of synthesizers. They debuted with a bouncy electro-pop spirit which gradually developed into a darker, more dramatic synth rock style that ultimately positioned them as one of the most quintessential alternative bands of their era, earning a modest European following with early releases like 1981's Speak and Spell and 1983's Construction Time Again. They made their US breakthrough in 1984 with their platinum certified fourth LP, Some Great Reward. From there, Depeche Mode remained a fixture on the international top 10 with hit 90s albums such as the classics Violator and their first US UK number one, the grunge-influenced Songs of Faith and Devotion. While internal drama and struggles with substance abuse threatened to derail them by the late 90s, their ever-evolving sound adapted with the times, whether driving into moody trip-hop on 1997's Ultra or digitalizing with experimental electronics on 2001's Exciter. By the late 2000s, the trio experienced a popular resurgence and renewed drive with the chart-topping electronic rock Playing the Angel, which kicked off a new era that poised Depeche Mode as elder statesmen of the genre, dominating sales with each subsequent release and even embarking on their longest tour to date in support of their 14th album, 2017's Spirit. Originally a product of Britain's new romantic movement, Depeche Mode got their start in 1976 when England-based keyboardist Vince Clarke and Andy Fletcher first teamed to form the group No Romance in China. The band proved short-lived, and by 1979, Vince Clarke had formed French Look, another duo featuring guitarist, keyboardist Martin Gore and Fletcher, soon signed on, and the group rechristened themselves Composition of Sound. Initially, Vince Clarke handled vocal chores but in 1980, singer David Gahn was brought in to complete the lineup. After one final name change to Depeche Mode, the quartet and all instruments, including their synthesizers, honing a slick techno-based sound to showcase Vince Clarke's catchy melodies. After building a following on the London club scene, Depeche Mode made their debut in 1980 with "Photographic", a track included on the Some Bizarre album label compilation. After signing to Mute Records, they issued "Dreaming of Me" in 1981. While neither the single nor the follow-up, "New Life", caused much of a stir, their third effort, "Just Can't Get Enough", became a top 10 UK hit, and their 1981 debut, "Speak and Spell", was also a success, just as Depeche Mode appeared poised for a major commercial breakthrough. However, principal songwriter Vince Clarke abruptly excelled form Yaz with singer Alison Moyet, leaving the group's future to grave doubt. As Martin Gore grabbed the band's songwriting reins, the remaining trio recruited keyboardist Alan Wilder to fill the technological void created by Vince Clarke's departure. While 1982's "A Broken Frame" deviated only slightly from Depeche Mode's earlier work, Martin Gore's ominous songs grew more assumed and sophisticated by the time of 1983's "Construction Time Again" and "Some Great Reward", issued the following year, was their artistic and commercial breakthrough, as Martin Gore's dark, kinky preoccupations with spiritual doubt, blasphemous rumors, and psychosexual manipulation, master and servant, came to the fore. The single "People Are People" was a major hit on both sides of the Atlantic and typed the music's turn toward more industrial textures. Released in 1986, the atmospheric "Black Celebration" continued the trend toward grim melancholy and further established the groups as a commercial force. It eventually sold over 500,000 copies in the US, "Black Celebration". In the US, which earned it gold status, released in 1987, "Music for the Masses", featuring 3 Hot 100 singles in "Strange Love", "Never Let Me Down Again", and "Behind the Wheel", propelled the group into the mainstream. The album would sell over 1 million copies in the US alone. A subsequent sold-out tour yielded the 1989's double live set, "101", recorded at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. It was accompanied by a concert filmed directed by the legendary D.A. Pennebaker. With the alternative music boom of the early 90s, Depeche Mode emerged as one of the world's most popular acts. The triple platinum "Violator", released in 1990, was a top 10 smash that spawned the hits "Personal Jesus", a number 8 single, "Enjoy the Silence", "Policy of Truth", and "World in My Eyes". riding the success of Violator, their 1993's LP, Song of Faith and Devotion, featuring a significant change in its heavy use of electric guitars, became the band's first to enter the charts at #1 in the UK and US, influenced by the grunge sounds of Soundgarden and Nirvana. The Flood-produced effort featured the singles "I Feel You" and "Walking in My Shoes." However, at the peak of its success, the group began to unravel, beginning with Wilder, 1995's exit. Gone attempted to take his own life and later entered a drug rehabilitation clinic to a battle of addiction to heroin, lead singer for Depeche Mode. After 4 years, Depeche Mode continued onward as a trio, released 1997's Ultra, which featured the Tim Zimmerman produced hits "Barrel of a Gun" and "It's No Good." A year later, the band embarked on a tour in support of their newly released hits album, The Singles, 1986 to 1998. Depeche Mode played 64 shows in 18 countries for over 1 million fans. Each member took considerable time off after the tour's completion, and Depeche Mode would not regroup for another 3 years. Exciter, the band's follow-up to Ultra, was released in 2001 with UFO's Mark Bell at the helm. The set featured a more experimental and minimalist electronic feel, heard on singles such as "Dream On" and "I Feel Loved." 2 years later, Gone issued his debut solo album, the dark and sultry Paper Monsters. Martin Gore also followed suit by issuing the all-covers Counterfeit, a full-length sequel to his similarly themed 1989's EP. After supporting their solo work with respective tours on the US and Europe, the band members soon regrouped to record another album, kicking off a revived late era. Their 11th album, Playing the Angel, was a top 10 hit upon its release in October 2005. Produced by Ben Hiller, the producer who produced Blur and U2 and studied with singles like Precious and John the Revelator. It topped the album charts in 18 countries and went multi-platinum and or gold in 20 markets. Depeche Mode went on to play for more than 2.5 million fans worldwide. And the 2006 video release, Touring the Angel, live in Milan, Spain, captured one of the band's greatest shows after another Gone solo effort, 2007's Hourglass. The trio returned to the studio with Hiller to cap the decade with 2009's Sounds of the Universe. Depeche Mode ushered in the 2010s with their 13th studio effort, Delta Machine, which completed a trilogy of Hiller-produced albums mixed by longtime Depeche associate Flood. Delta Machine debuted at number 2 in the UK and peaked at number 6 on the US Billboard 200. The concert film and album Live in Berlin, directed by Anton Karjan, from a late 2013 show, followed in November 2014. The band returned in early 2017 with their 14th studio effort, Spirit. The album's material was largely inspired by the outcome of the 2016 U.S. presidential election and was produced by James Ford of the Arctic Monkeys. Buoyed by the single Where's the Revolution, Spirit debuted at number 5 on the Billboard 200. They promoted the album with a massive international tour, their longest trek to date, that kept them on the road until 2018. A commemorative tour documentary film, The Car Ship, helmed Spirits in the Forest, debuted on screen in November 2019 and was later released alongside the concert album Live Spirits. Depeche Mode were honored in 2020 as inductees to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame alongside Nine Inch Nails and T-Rex and others. A week after that news was announced, they released a massive career retrospective box set called Mode that collected all 14 studio albums, complete with redesigned artwork, as well as 4 discs worth of non-album singles, B-sides, and bonus tracks. The package also contained a 228-page lyric and photo book. Keyboard player and co-founder Andy Fletcher died of natural causes on May 26, 2022. This year, Andy Fletcher, rest in peace, Andy Fletcher, at the age of only 60. There you have it, the discography of Depeche Mode, or biography of Depeche Mode. An hour and 10 minutes in the show. Thank you all for showing up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, here we go. 3 people in the house. Yes, but it might taste like hay. It's from North Dakota. Yes, Andy Fletcher, the original keyboardist for Depeche Mode, died in May of this year. Natural causes, died at the age of 60. Don't know what's to become of Depeche Mode after Andy Fletcher has died. I really don't know the future of Depeche Mode. They've been around since 1981, and they've come out with 15 plus albums. This is Beat After Beat, coming to you live from the Motor City. 27 degrees and cloudy, getting ready for that big Arctic blast and the winter storm coming my way. Opening act today, DEVO. Official music video with it is in the chat if you want to check out the official video by DEVO. Whip It covered biography, discography of DEVO. And we just finished the biography of Depeche Mode. I guess Depeche Mode really has no meaning where it came from. According to the band in the early 80s, they were interviewed, and the interviewer asked the band, "Why do you call yourselves Depeche Mode?" And they said, "Because we can." So there you go. An hour and 13 minutes in the show, and Carpenter is in the house. Depeche Mode discography, 1981, Speak and Spell on Rhino. Warner Brothers, Warner Records. 4 stars, Speak and Spell, 1981, Depeche Mode's debut album. 1982, A Broken Frame on Sire Records, 3 stars. 1983's Construction Time Again, which has the hit People Are People. Rhino Records, 3 stars. 1984, Some Great Reward on Sire Records, 4.5 stars. 1986, Black Celebration, Sire Records, 4 stars. And my personal favorite, 1987's Music for the Masses. You can find Behind the Wheel official music video in my chat right now. Go check out Behind the Wheel by Depeche Mode. One of my favorite albums, Music for the Masses. 1989's 101, a live album, double disc. Sire Records, 4 stars. 1990's Violator, Mute Records, 5 stars. Violator, 5 stars. 1993's Songs of Faith and Devotion, Sire Records, Reprise Records, 4 stars. 1993's Songs of Faith and Devotion, Live, Reprise, Sire Records, 2 stars. 1997's Ultra on Reprise Records, 3.5 stars. 2001's Exciter on Reprise Records, 2.5 stars. 2005's Playing the Angel, Sire Reprise and Mute Records, 4.5 stars. 2006's Touring the Angel, live in Spain, Reprise, Sire Records, no stars. 2009's Sounds of the Universe on Capitol Records, 4 stars. 2013's Delta Machine, Columbia Records, 3.5 stars. 2014's Live in Berlin, Columbia Records, 3.5 stars. 2017's Spirit on Columbia Records, 4.5 stars. And 2020's Live Spirits soundtrack, Columbia Records, Sony Music Distribution, 4 stars. 2020's, that's the latest album out there by Depeche Mode, along with that box set I was mentioning earlier. That covers the biography, discography of Depeche Mode. Thank you all for spending the time with BFB on this very cold Monday. Teresa P is back. Hopefully everything went well with your appointment. Line straight. Great, Teresa. Who's Andy? Andy Fletcher. Andy Fletcher, the original synthesizer of keyboardist for Depeche Mode. He passed away this year in May. Andy is Andy Fletcher, again the keyboardist for Depeche Mode. Died at 60 of natural causes. I don't know what is the future for Depeche Mode, but Andy Fletcher is gone, the original synthesizer keyboardist for Depeche Mode. But this was back in May that he passed away. An eyebrow appointment. Yes, I need my eyebrows trimmed myself. But I like the salt and pepper eyebrows like I have. Now we're in 18 minutes in the show. Getting ready to close down with Carpenter's biography, special request by Carpenter. Biography, discography of Fleetwood Mac. Special request. Let me pull up my notes. Fleetwood Mac. Christy McVie recently also passed away. Christy McVie, of course, I believe you've already heard that news. Carpenter, Christy McVie of Fleetwood Mac recently passed away. If anybody has special requests regarding the bios and discographies, the biographies, discographies of bands and solo artists around the world, I'll be glad to take your request in the future. Please leave your request down in the comment section, and I will be working on your request, your bios. Yes, well, right, exactly. Bowed heads for sure. I mean, one after the other. All right, Carpenter. Ah, yeah. Here we go. Stevie Nicks. Yeah. Um, Hope everybody can hear me okay. Fleetwood Mac biography, discography. Special request by Carpenter. Mick Fleetwood's boys and girls morphed from a respected British blues outfit into the world's biggest pop band of the 70s, Fleetwood Mac. Active 1960s to 2020s, formed in 1967, the year I was born, in London, England, under the pop rock, blues, adult contemporary, album rock, blues rock, British blues, contemporary pop rock, soft rock, regional blues, Nick Fleetwood, Christine McVie, John McVie, Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham, Billy Burnett, Bob Welch, Danny Kerwin, Jeremy Spencer, Peter Green, Dave Manson, Neil Finn, Rick Vito, Bob Weston, Dave Walker, and Bob Bruning make up Fleetwood Mac. Here we go, special request. Special request for Carpenter. Here we go, round 3. While most bands undergo a number of changes over the course of their careers, few of them experience more radical stylistic evolution than Fleetwood Mac. Initially conceived as a hard-edged British blues combo in the late 60s, the band gradually evolved into a polished pop rock act over the course of a decade. Throughout all of their incarnations, the only consistent members of Fleetwood Mac were drummer Mick Fleetwood and bassist John McVie. The rhythm section that provided the band with their name, ironically, they had the least influence over the musical direction of the band. Originally, guitarist Peter Green and Jeremy Spencer provided the group with their gutsy neo-psychedelic blues rock sound. But as both guitarists decimated into mental illness, the band began moving toward pop rock with the songwriting of pianist Christine McVie. By the mid-70s, Fleetwood Mac had relocated to California, where they added the soft rock duo of Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks to their lineup. Obsessed with the meticulously arranged pop of the Beach Boys and the Beatles, Lindsey Buckingham helped the band become one of the most popular groups of the late 70s, combining soft rock with a conventional introspection of songwriters. Fleetwood Mac created a stick-out emotional sound that helped 1977's Rumors became one of the biggest selling albums of all time. The band retained their popularity through the early 80s when Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks and Christine McVie all began pursuing solo careers. The group reunited for 1987's Tango in the Night, but Lindsey Buckingham left the band and Fleetwood Mac entered a period where they slowly lost their frontman, culminating in the group officially calling it a day after Time faded upon its 1995 release, 1995's Time. The band quickly reunited through assembling For the Dance, a 1997 live album, then stabilizing without Christine McVie for their 2000s incarnation, a lineup that produced 2003's Say You Will. McVie returned to the fold of a series of successful tours starting in 2014, but the group's harmony was short-lived. Lindsey Buckingham was ousted prior to an anniversary tour in 2018. His departure proved that the one consistent in Fleetwood Mac through the years was change. The roots of Fleetwood Mac lie in John Mayall's legendary British blues outfit, the Bluesbreakers. Bassist John McVie was one of the charter members of the Bluesmakers, joining the group in 1963. In 1966, Peter Green replaced Eric Clapton, and a year later, drummer Mick Fleetwood joined. Inspired by the success of Cream, the Yardbirds, and Jimi Hendrix, the trio decided to break away from Mayall, Mayall, in 1967. At their debut at the British Jazz and Blues Festival in August, Bob Bruning was playing bass in the group. Since McVie was still under contract to Mayall, Mayall, he joined the band a few weeks after their debut. By that time, slide guitarist Jeremy Spencer had joined the band. Fleetwood Mac soon signed with Blue Horizon, releasing their debut the following year. Fleetwood Mac was an enormous hit in the UK, spending over a year at the top 10 despite its British success. The album was virtually ignored in America. During 1968, the band added guitarist Danny Kirwan. The following year, they recorded Fleetwood Mac in Chicago with a variety of bluesmen, including Willie Dixon and Otis Spann. The set was released later that year after the band had left Blue Horizon for a one-album deal with Intimate Records in the US. They signed with Reprise, Warner Brothers Records, and by 1970, Warner Brothers began releasing the band's British records as well. Fleetwood Mac released English Rose and Then Play On during 1969, which both indicated that the band was expanding its music, moving away from its blues roots. That year, Peter Green's Man of the World and Oh Well were number 2 hits. Though his music was providing the backbone of the group, Green was growing increasingly disturbed due to his large ingestion of drugs. After announcing that he was planning to give all of his earnings away, Green suddenly left the band in the spring of 1970. He released 2 solo albums over the course of the 70s, but he rarely performed after leaving Fleetwood Mac. The band replaced him with Kristen Perfect, a vocalist pianist who had earned a small but loyal following in the UK by singing with Spencer Davis and the Chicken Shack. She had already performed unaccredited on Then Play On, contractual difficulties prevented her from becoming a full-fledged member of Fleetwood Mac until 1971. By that name, she had married, or by that time, she had married John McVie. Christine McVie didn't appear on 1970's Clean House, the first album the band recorded without Peter Green. For that album, Jeremy Spencer donated the band's musical direction. But he had also been undergoing mental problems due to heavy drug use during the band's American tour in early 1971. Spencer disapproved. It was later discovered that he left the band to join the religious cult, the Children of God. Fleetwood Mac also had already been trying to determine the direction of their music, but Spencer's departure sent the band into disarray. Kristen McVie and Danny Kerwin began to move the band toward mainstream rock on 1971's Future Games, but new guitarist Bob Welch reverted a heavily influence on 1972's Bare Times, or Bare Trees. Kerwin was fired after Bare Trees and was replaced by guitarist Bob Weston and Dave Walker, who appeared on 1973's Penguin. Walker left after that album, and Weston departed after making its follow-up Mystery to Me, 1973. In 1974, the group's manager Clifford Davis formed a bogus Fleetwood Mac and had the band tour the U.S. The real Fleetwood Mac filled and won a lawsuit against the imposters. So there was another Fleetwood Mac who pretended to be the real Fleetwood Mac, I believe. An hour and 35 minutes in the show. Doing a special request for Carpenter, Fleetwood Mac. So I guess there was two Fleetwood Macs and there was only one real one at that time. Bear with me, Carpenter. So Fleetwood Mac filed and won a lawsuit against the imposters, who also, after losing, began performing under the name Stretch. But the lawsuit kept the band off the road for most of the year. In the interim, they released Heroes Are Hard to Find. Late in 1974, Fleetwood Mac moved to California with hopes of restarting their career. Welch left the band shortly after the move to form Paris. Early in 1975, Fleetwood and McVie were auditioning engineers for the band's new album when they heard Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, an album recorded by the soft rock duo Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. The pair were asked to join the group, and their audition reviewed the band's musical and commercial fortunes. Not only did Buckingham and Nicks write songs, but they brought distinctive talents the band had been lacking. Buckingham was a skilled pop craftsman, capable of arranging a commercial song while keeping it musically adventurous. Nicks had a husky voice, and a sexy hippie gypsy stage persona that gave the band a characteristic, charismatic frontwoman. The new lineup of Fleetwood Mac released their enormous debut in 1975, and it slowly became a huge hit, reaching number one in 1976. The strength of the singles "Over My Head" and "Say You Love Me," the album would eventually sell over 5 million copies in the US alone. While Fleetwood Mac had finally attained their long desired commercial success, the band was fraying behind the scenes. The McVies divorced in 1976, and Buckingham and Nicks' romance ended shortly afterward. The eternal tensions formed the base of the songs on the next album, Rumors, released in the spring of 1977. Rumors became a blockbuster success, tapping the American and British charts and generating the top 10 singles "Go Your Own Way" and "Dreams Don't Stop" and "You Make Loving Fun." It would eventually sell over 17 million copies in the US alone, making it the second biggest selling album of all time. Fleetwood Mac supported the album with an exclusive, lucrative tour, and then retired in the studio to record their follow-up to Rumors, in a wildly experimental double album conceived largely by Buckingham. 1979's Tusk. Jave, how are you? Much love. 1979's Tusk didn't duplicate the enormous success of Rumors, yet it did go multi-platinum and featured the top 10 singles "Sarah" and "Tusk." In 1980, they released the double album "Live." Following the Tusk and tour, Fleetwood, Buckingham, and Nicks all recorded solo albums or their solo projects. Stevie Nicks' "Belladonna" (1981) was the most successful, peaking at number one and featuring the hit singles "Stop Dragging My Heart Around," "Leather and Lace," and "Edge of 17." Buckingham's "Law and Order" (1981) was a moderate success, spawning the top 10 Trouble. Fleetwood, for his part, made a world music album called "The Visitor." Fleetwood Mac reconvened in 1982 for "Mirage," more conventional and accessible than Tusk. Mirage reached number one and featured the hit singles "Hold Me" and "Gypsy." After Mirage, Buckingham, Nicks, and Christine McVie all worked on solo albums. The hesitation, this was due to a variety of reasons. Each member had his or her own manager. Stevie Nicks was becoming the group's breakaway star. Lindsey Buckingham was obsessive in the studio, and each member was suffering from various substance addictions. Stevie Nicks was able to maintain her popularity with The Wild Heart, 1983, and Rock a Little, 1985, both reaching the top 15. Christine McVie also had a top 10 hit with Got a Hold on Me in 1984. Lindsey Buckingham received the strongest reviews of all, but his 1984 album Go Insane failed to generate a hit. Fleetwood Mac reunited to record a new album in 1985. Buckingham, who had grown increasingly frustrated with the musical intentions of the band, decided to make his last Fleetwood Mac project. When the resulting album, Tango in the Night, was finally released in 1987, he was greeted with mixed reviews but strong sales, reaching the top 10 and generating the top 20 hits. Little Lens, Stevie, Seven Wonders, and Everywhere. Gotta take a little break here, people. Going over a long biography of Fleetwood Mac. Round 3 of biographies today and discographies. Special request by Carpenter wanted me to do a discography of Fleetwood Mac. An hour and 44 minutes in the show. Tango in the Night was finally released in 1987, and was greeted with mixed reviews, with strong sales, reaching the top 10 and generating the top 20 hits. Little Lens, Seven Wonders, and Everywhere. Buckingham decided to leave Fleetwood Mac after completing Tango in the Night, and the group replaced him with guitarist Billy Burnett and Rick Vito. The new lineup of the band recorded their first album, Behind the Mask, in 1990. It became the band's first solo since 1975, and got in 1975 to not go gold. Following its supporting tour, Nicks and Christine McVie announced they would continue to record with the group, but not tour. Vito left the band in 1991, and the group released the box set 20 Years, The Chain, the following year. The classic Fleetwood Mac lineup of Fleetwood. The McVies, Buckingham, and Nicks reunited to play President Bill Clinton's inauguration in early 1993, but the concert did not lead to a full-fledged reunion. Later that year, Nicks left the band and was replaced by Becca Bromnett and Dave Manson. Christine McVie left the group shortly after. The new lineup of Fleetwood Mac began touring in 1994, releasing Time the following year to little attention. While the new version of Fleetwood Mac wasn't commercially successful, Neither were the solo careers of Buckingham, Nicks, and McVie, prompting speculation of a full-fledged reunion in 1997. Soon these whispers proved to be true, as the classic Rumors quartet reunited for a live performance that became the 1997's album "The Dance." The album performed well, debuting at #1 on Billboard and generating an adult contemporary hit in the new version of "Landslide." Fleetwood Mac supported "The Dance" with a tour that lasted throughout the year, and early in 1998 the band was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Not long after, Christine McVie announced she was leaving the band. Her departure may have slowed the speed of Fleetwood Mac's reunion, but the remaining quartet set a work writing and recording a new album. The resulting "Say You Will" appeared in April of 2003. It was their first solo album in eight years, and the first in 16 to feature Buckingham and Nicks. "Say You Will" performed well. It went gold in the US, UK, and Canada, with the singles "Peacekeeper" and "Say You Will" reaching the US Adult Contemporary Top 20, and the accompanying international tour was a success after a few quiet years where Buckingham resumed his solo career with the group. Unsuccessfully recruited Sheryl Crow as a replacement for Christine McVie. They reconceived for a tour in 2009. 4 years later, the group celebrated their 35th anniversary of Rumors with a new deluxe box reissue, accompanied by a tour. As the tour got underway in April, the band unexpectedly released a 4-track extended play of new material. It received good notices and entered the US charts at 48. During a 3-night start at London's bear with me. During a 3-night stint at London's September 2013, Christine McVie appeared with Fleetwood Mac for the first time in 15 years. In January 2014, the band announced that Christine was rejoining the group, and they started recording a new album. The progress on the album was slow and already partially due to individual solo projects, partially due to interruptions caused by the band's ongoing world tour. They played international dates in both 2014 and 2015. As the group continued to chip away at their new record, they released a super deluxe reissue of Tusk in time for the holidays of 2015, which was followed the subsequent fall by a deluxe reissue of Mirage. Further catalog reissues followed in the next few years. Tango in the Night received a super deluxe treatment in 2017, while their 1990, 1975 album got an upgrade in early 2018, but the bigger news in Fleetwood Mac articles was Buckingham and McVie recording a debut album, a duet album, together in 2017, initially planned as a new Fleetwood Mac album. The 2017 set, entitled Buckingham McVie's 1973 Buckingham Nicks, turned into a Lindsay and Christine project once Stevie Nicks decided to concentrate on her solo career, retaining Mick Fleetwood and John McVie as their main rhythm section. Buckingham and McVie finished the album with the assistance of producer Michael Froom, Froom, and Mark Needham, releasing the record in June 2017. Early in 2018, Fleetwood Mac reunited to play a gig celebrating their award as Muscare's Person of the Year. This turned out to be the last concert Buckingham would play with Fleetwood Mac. In April, Buckingham was fired from the band. He would later file a lawsuit against the group regarding his dismissal. Fleetwood Mac tried or hired Neil Finn and Mike Campbell to replace him and launched an international tour in 2018, September 2018, releasing a compilation album titled 50 Years Don't Stop as a companion to the tour. The record debuted at 12 on the UK charts and 65 on Billboard's Top 200. The concert album, Before the Beginning, Rare Live and Demo Sessions, 1968 to 1970, arrived in November 2019 and featured previously unreleased live performances captured during Peter Green's time with the band. This reminder of Green's glory days came only months before he died in his sleep on July 25, 2020, at the age of 73. 2 months after Green's passing, the box set Fleetwood Mac 1969 to 1974 appeared. It had expanded and remastered versions of all the albums the group released during those 6 years. Christine McVie died on November 30th, 2022. After a brief illness, she was 79 years of age. Original member of Fleetwood Mac passed away, died in his sleep, July 25th, 2020, at the age of 73. And recently, another member of Fleetwood Mac, Christine McVie, just died November 30th, 2022. After a brief illness, she was 79 years of age. She lived a long and beautiful life, Christine McVie. Here you go, the biography of Fleetwood Mac, Carpenter, the best I could. Up next is the discography of Fleetwood Mac. Oh yeah, discography. An hour and 57 minutes into the show, Jenny Jones is in the house. Take a little break here. Round three. Um, just went over the biography, discography of DEVO, as well as the headliner today, Depeche Mode, the biography, discography, and by special request, the biography and discography of Fleetwood Mac by Carpenter. (26 degrees and cloudy here in the Motor City. A major winter storm is about to approach most of the U.S., as well as an Arctic blast headed this way right before Christmas. Looks like most of us here in the U.S. Will have a somewhat of a white Christmas, um, even as far as northern Florida. Three in the house, Jimmy Jones. Right, right. Got to take a little break. I'll be right back, everybody. Got to take a little break. Be right back. And I'm back. Had to take a little break. 2 hours into the show, by special request, just went over the discography, quite a long discography of Fleetwood Mac, Depeche Mode, DEVO today. Very long discography or biographies today. Doing the best I can, trying to hold down the fort. I'm not very good at reading or singing, for that matter. I do the best I can when it comes to the biographies, discographies. Um, Gonna finish up the show with the discography of Fleetwood Mac. I got to go out, warm up the truck. Got an emergency list here. Got to go to the grocery store, stock up on some things. Getting ready for that winter storm about to approach. Uh, well, here in southeast Michigan, we're supposed to get over a foot of snow, I believe. Um, yeah, I have difficulty reading. As y'all may know, I do struggle with reading. We all should read a lot more than what we are doing, are reading. Um, Probably if I read more, I would understand what I'm reading. Um, get you a Big Mac, a Fleetwood Mac. Get you a Fleetwood Big Mac. Get you a Fleetwood Big Mac. They're like this big. The Fleetwood edition. Get you the Fleetwood Mac edition. Well, I'm glad you appreciate my struggles, Carpenter. Glad you appreciate. I'm glad nobody's really saying anything about my reading. I haven't gotten any comments about the reading. I do. Um, 2 hours, a little over 2 hours into the show. Thank you all for showing up. I'm going to get off this train shortly and warm up the truck and go pick up some emergency supplies because I'm getting ready to bunker down here. Got a major winter storm headed our way, Arctic blast coming down from Siberia, literally coming down through Canada, through the U.S., covering most of the U.S. We're about to get blizzards in the minus degrees. Huge event coming our way in the weather. Again, I will be here tomorrow for New Release Tuesdays, but I'm off on Wednesday. I got to go pick up my friend's cat, and I'll be babysitting my friend's cat for the entire month while she's in Florida for the holiday season. So I will be cat sitting. Cupboards and fridge is fully packed with food. Cats have plenty of food. Litter well stocked. All 3 windows are insulated. And going to be hunkering down this Christmas Eve, Christmas. May go live on Christmas Day with you guys. I know, good luck with that, right? So all's good. Just gotta grab a few things today after the show and get ready for the major winter storm. The worst in decades, I heard. I might go live Christmas Day. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna be like that movie Home Alone. Y'all seen Home Alone? That'll be beat after beat. I will be home alone. Justin, hello, welcome. At least you don't have to change diapers. All right. Maybe the cat, well, you know, the cats have, all I got to do is change the litter box. I just got to change the litter boxes. 2 litter boxes, mind you. Picking up my friend's cat this Wednesday. Going to be house sitting my friend's cat while she's in Florida. I've been here. I was just listening the whole time. I appreciate it. Putting in my special request to Carpenter for Fleetwood Mac. Just went over a very long discography of Fleetwood Mac. Biography. Going to finish off the show with the discography of Fleetwood Mac. I do have issues with my neck. Okay, I have a worn out disc in the back of my neck, and I am supposed to go in for back surgery, and I'm not going to be doing that. Pure Soul, much love to you. You should do one for Wasp, Blackie Lawless. I have issues with the back of my neck, so when I'm looking down, reading and presenting you guys with the biographies, discographies, I am in a lot of pain. My whole upper shoulders are in a lot of pain, chronic pain, worn out disc. The doctors told me I need back surgery, and I declined back surgery. And I'm having a hard time reading, focusing, doing the best I can. I'm not getting any younger, so getting older is a factor also. Reading, doing the best I can, people. Special request, Wasp, Blind in Texas. Coming up for PPR, biography, discography of Wasp. Special request. There you go, special request, Wasp. Coming up. Wild Child. I like Blind in Texas. I really like Blind in Texas. Roadhog, much love to you. Blackie Lawless is out there. In case you didn't know, Blackie Lawless used to be in Quiet Riot in the early days. Blackie Lawless was a member of Quiet Riot. Hold on to my heart. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I like Blind in Texas, man. Fucking rock on, Blind in Texas. Wow. Get you some of that. Blind in Texas. Official video by Wasp. El Paso Hellhole. The El Paso Hellhole in Texas. Finishing off the show with special request by Carpenter, the discography of Fleetwood Mac. Having a lot of chronic pain today, as always. Chronic pain in my arms, my hands, my neck, my upper shoulders. A lot of pain, a lot of pain. Right. Nikki Sixx and Blackie Lawless, in the very beginning, used to be with Quiet Riot. Before the original lineup of Quiet Riot actually was Carved in Stone. Yeah, Nikki Sixx, Blackie Lawless, original members of Quiet Riot. Thank y'all for saying I'm doing a good job. I appreciate it to the fullest. Round 3, biography, discography of DEVO. Official video, Whip It, is in the chat, along with the biography, discography of Depeche Mode, Behind the Wheel. Official music video in the chat. Finishing off, special request for Carpenter. I'm a Deep Purple broke up. I'm glad Deep Purple broke up because we got Whitesnake from the right. I believe PPR, David Coverdale just put out some Christmas stuff. Whitesnake Christmas. Check that out, PPR. David Coverdale just put out some Christmas material here on YouTube. Adrian, Justin, Whitesnake Christmas, I believe. David Coverdale Christmas stuff going on YouTube. Two hours, 15 minutes into the show. Having a threesome today here on Beat After Beat. Yes, a threesome with the biography, discography of DEVO, biography, discography of Depeche Mode, and a special request biography, discography of Fleetwood Mac. Finishing off with the discography Pizza Demon, much love to you. Here is Solo. We have a major winter storm headed our way. Here is Solo, in case you didn't know. Checking out the weather yesterday, and the Arctic blast is about to hit us. The entire state where I'm at, Michigan, is about to get hit with a foot of snow. And headed your way, Parasol. I heard Pennsylvania in that broadcast, that weather broadcast yesterday. I heard about Pennsylvania also getting hit with a lot of snow coming up. Teresa, AB. So whatever you guys got to do, get prepared with food and everything else. Food, water, fuel, everything you can. We're about to get hit like never before, like in decades. Yeah, I'm not ready for this winter. Get ready now, Para. I heard Pennsylvania in that winter storm prediction yesterday. Thought of you right away. Here in southeast Michigan, or mostly all of Michigan, we're about to get hit with over a foot of snow, and the Arctic blast coming from Siberia literally is about to come down through Canada starting Wednesday, starting tomorrow, and we're all going to be in the minus 10s, minus 20s, blizzard conditions. all headed our way right before Christmas. Get prepared. I am making the list, getting ready to do an emergency run at the grocery store after the show. Get some emergency stuff going. Got to get my act together this week. So much to do, right? What's the truth? Much love to you. Yeah, we're all good. It's YouTube that takes away my subs. YouTube takes away my subs all the time. People always come and go. Sounds like a good idea. I was talking, taking away, did not know I was black from. BEAT doesn't block anybody. YouTube takes away my subs all the time. Two inches in Kentucky. Yeah. It's all YouTube doing their tricks. Stresses me out, people. People come and go. YouTube takes away my subs. Same here, I have to keep resubbing. Yep. All right, we're going to finish this off with the discography of Fleetwood Mac, special request by Carpenter. Winter storm's coming. Special request, Fleetwood Mac discography, the biography. 1968, Fleetwood Mac. Beat After Beat was only 1 year old when Fleetwood Mac came out with their debut album. Sony Music Distribution, 4.5 stars. Also in 1968, Mr. Wonderful, Sony Music Distribution, 2 stars. 1969, English Rose on Epic Records, 4.5 stars. 1969, also Then Play On Reprise Records, 4.5 stars. 1970, Clin House on Reprise Records, 3.5 stars. 1971's Future Games on Reprise Records, 3.5 stars. 1972's Bare Trees on Reprise Records, 4 stars. 1973 also, or 1973, Penguin, Reprise Records, 2 stars. 1973 also, Mystery to Me on Reprise, 3 stars. 1974, Heroes Are Hard to Find, Reprise, 3 stars. 1975, Fleetwood Mac, Reprise, Rhino, Flashback Records, 5 stars. 1977's Rumors, Warner Brothers Records, Reprise, 5 stars. 1979's Tusk, Rhino, Warner Brothers, 5 stars. 1980, Fleetwood Mac Live, Warner Brothers, Reprise, 3.5 stars. 1982's Mirage, Rhino, Warner Brothers Records, 3 stars. 1987's Tango in the Night, Warner Brothers, 3.5 stars. 1990's Behind the Mask, Warner Brothers Reprise Records, 1.5 stars. 1995's Time, Warner Brothers WEA Distribution Records, 2.5 stars. 1997's The Dance on Reprise Records, 2.5 stars. 2003's Say You Will, Reprise Warner Brother Records, 3 stars. And 2004 Live in Boston, Fleetwood Mac, Reprise, 2.5 stars. That completes the biography, discography, special request by Carpenter. Go out and get you a Fleetwood Mac at McDonald's. Fleetwood Mac at McDonald's. Much love to the fullest, everybody. Please come back and leave a comment. Please put in your special request for Bio Mondays. Did my first special request going out to Carpenter, covered the biography, discography of Fleetwood Mac. PPR just put in a request for Wasp. I'll be sure to do that in the future. I wrote it down. PPR wants to hear the biography, discography of Wasp, Blind in Texas, El Paso Hellhole. That is it, folks. 2.5 hours today. Sure to check out my creative playlist. I list on the daily. Check out the Once a Duranny, Always a Duranny, 1981 to present. I am a huge Duran Duran fan for 40 years now. Check out the remixes and videos of Duran Duran in my and related Duran Duran music videos in my community page. See you again, Beat, and everyone. Yes, Para. Get ready, Para. Get ready for the winter storm. Get ready. Hope you enjoyed your Mac, Carpenter, your Fleetwood Mac. Carpenter got a Big Mac today. Much love to the fullest. See y'all tomorrow for new release Tuesdays, 12 o'clock Eastern, here at Beat After Beat. Bio Mondays is over with today. Thank y'all for sticking around for 2.5 hours. Did the best I could. Please leave comments down below, and make sure you're committed to leaving comments down below, because Rhodes says comments help the algorithm. Please leave comments down below, especially for Bio Mondays. If you got a request for the biography, discography of a band that you would like to know more about, please put it down in the comments down below, and I will write that down, your request, for the next show. PPR just put in his request for Wasp. I'll be sure to do a biography, biography and discography of Wasp for PPR. This has been a Beat After Beat presentation. I won't be able to do my show for sure, Road. I will not be able to do my show for sure if that happens. All right, folks. Got to warm up the truck and pick up some emergency food, emergency items. We're about to get hit with an Arctic blast and a winter storm, including blizzard conditions right before Christmas. So I am out, everybody. 27 degrees and cloudy here in the Motor City. 2.5 hour show. Appreciate the love to the fullest. And I am out. Much love. Take care, everybody, and don't forget to leave comments from now on. Start off your new year, your New Year's resolution here at Beat After Beat. Leave comments, put in your requests for biographies, discographies of bands, solo artists around the world. I am in a lot of pain, everybody. I gotta go. I have to warm up the truck and get some things at the grocery store. Much love. See y'all tomorrow, 12 o'clock Eastern, new release Tuesdays. Much love to all my new subs out there. All my mods. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. It's the chronic pain. I have chronic pain. I have diabetes and arthritis in my entire body. So I do the best I can for all of you. So with that, I'm going to be leaving now. Take care. See y'all tomorrow. Remember, prepare now. Prepare today. I'm telling you. I'm warning you. Prepare today for the food. Get your house warmed up. It's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad. It's going to be real bad, people. The worst in decades, according to the weatherman yesterday. Looking at those map predictions, and a lot of the U.S. is going to be in the purple. I mean, that's the color, purple. Up there in Fargo, I believe, Minnesota, North Dakota, minus 23, I believe it is today. Again, the Siberian train is coming. Don't say you didn't hear it first on Beat After Beat. The Siberian train is coming. I try not to let it be. Road. I try not to let it be. Stock up on Crisco for emergency heat. Hear that, everybody? going to get bad. Get ready. Stock up now, today. All right, see y'all tomorrow. Gotta go to the grocery store. Peace out. Much love. See you tomorrow. Again, this is a Beat After Beat presentation.